Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. Today we are going to explore the concept of quality of life. Before we begin, I would like you to ponder on a few things. What do you typically think of when you hear the term quality of life? For many, quality of life can have different meanings. What one individual might consider to be a great quality of life could be not so good for another. This means that quality of life is quite heterogeneous in nature. Heterogeneity is the quality or state of being diverse in character or content. It is important to keep heterogeneity in mind as we explore quality of life because everyone will have their own unique ideals, values, and beliefs about quality of life. Although quality of life can be a little different for everyone, we can establish a basic framework upon which quality of life can be assessed so that everyone can have an effective tool to measure their improvements. Our objectives for today are to establish a working definition of individual quality of life. We will also consider the various factors that the World Health Organization has deemed to be the most contributive to overall quality of life. Although there are numerous other factors that may lead into an individual's quality of life, for the purposes of this video, we will be solely focusing on the main factors identified by the World Health Organization. To conclude, we will explore some potential ways to improve each factor. This video is meant to be an overview of quality of life, and you can expect to see a more in-depth analysis of each factor in subsequent videos to come. So what is quality of life? According to the World Health Organization, quality of life is defined as an individual's perception of their position in life in the context of the culture and value system in which they live and in relation to their goals, expectations, standards, and concerns. Quality of life is a broad-ranging concept affected in a complex way by the person's physical health, physiological state, psychological state, personal beliefs, social relationships, and their relationship to ever-changing features of their environment. Health is defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease. To properly measure health, we need to not only monitor the presence or absence of disease, but also take into account well-being. Since quality of life is a multifaceted approach, we can use it to gauge our overall health. So you may be asking, what factors contribute to quality of life? Let's explore those factors right now. The first factor is psychological health. The second factor constitutes physical health. The third factor is spirituality. The fourth factor is independence. The fifth factor is social relationships. And the sixth and final factor is our environment. Let's now dive in to the first factor of quality of life, psychological health. The World Health Organization defines mental health as a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. There are inseparable links between mental health and physical activity. More than 100 million people suffer from mental health disorders in the Western region. Depressive disorders alone are responsible for 5.73% of the disease burden in the Western region. So you may be asking, how can we improve our mental health? We will go over some common ways to improve your mental health. The first is to stay positive. Staying positive doesn't mean that we can never feel any negative emotions. It just means that we need to be conscious of these negative emotions, and when they persist, we need to actively try to replace them with positive thoughts and try to reduce negative influences in our lives. The second way is to practice gratitude. Practicing gratitude is a way for us to be thankful for all the great things we have in our lives. By focusing on gratitude, we can shift our perspectives and live our lives in a more positive manner. Number three, taking care of our physical health. Exercise can reduce feelings of stress and depression as well as improve our mood. Number four, connect with others. We as humans are social creatures, and it is important for us to have healthy, strong relationships with one another to protect against the harms of stress. Connecting with others gives us a social network to lean upon during challenging times. And number five, The most important of all, get help when you need it. Seeking help is a sign of strength, not a weakness. I want you to remember that. It is important to remember that treatment is effective. People who get appropriate care and can recover from mental illness and addiction go on to lead fulfilling and rewarding lives. The next factor we will discuss is physical health. Physical health can be defined as the state of your physical body and how well it's operating. We will now talk about some common ways to improve your physical health. Maintaining an active lifestyle means staying active throughout the course of our day, not just when we were exercising. Number two, eating healthy. Eating properly and staying hydrated will properly fuel our body and prepare us for the daily tasks at hand. Hygiene and disease prevention. By having proper hygiene, we can help reduce the likelihood of developing diseases. This can be achieved by things like brushing our teeth, showering frequently, and drinking adequate amounts of water. Physical fitness encompasses exercising intentionally to strengthen our muscles and cardiovascular system to maintain and improve our physical bodies. Next, we will discuss spirituality. Spirituality is much like quality of life in the fact that it brings up this concept of heterogeneity. This means that each individual is going to experience spirituality differently and have a different opinion of what spirituality is. Spirituality can be defined for everyone and be very different, but typically involves getting in touch with our spiritual selves, whether this be through meditation, religion, yoga, or some other form of quiet reflection. Some common ways to improve are through yoga, attending a church service, meditation, quiet time, or spending time in the outdoors or in nature. Since spirituality is very heterogeneous, the ways to improve will vary greatly from person to person. Independence. Independence can be defined as not requiring or relying on something else. Independence as we age tends to focus on being able to successfully perform daily tasks and activities of daily living. Some common ways to maintain or improve our independence is to consistently perform balanced exercises, participate in strength training exercises, as well as stretch to increase range of motion. Social relationships. Social relationships is a broad term for our interactions with one or more other individuals. Maintaining and developing new relationships is important to our overall quality of life, as it provides us a way to feel accepted and contribute to society. Some ways we can improve our social relationships are to 1. Check up on a friend you haven't talked to in a while. We can often get busy with the everyday hustle and bustle. Take some time today to call a friend and let them know that you have been thinking about them. 2. Try new activities and meet others. Trying new things gives us the opportunity to step outside of our comfort zone a little bit and make some new connections. Number 3. Don't hold grudges. It can be hard to forgive those who may have wronged us. It can also be hard to forgive and forget, but holding on to these grudges can cause negative emotions that can have detrimental impacts on our social relationships. And lastly, number 4, make time for those you love. Prioritize time with the people you care about in life so that they know how much you care about them. And finally, for the last factor, environment. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, environment is defined as the circumstances, objects, or conditions by which one is surrounded. Some common ways to improve our environment is to try to remove ourselves, if possible, from any negative environmental situations, whether this be social environments, physical locations, or other possible negative circumstances. This will ensure that all other factors of quality of life will not be negatively impacted by having a bad environment. I just want to thank you for tuning in today. I want you to remember that quality of life is heterogeneous. This means that each person is going to have a different ideal of what quality life means to them. I want you to take away from this, try to improve each factor of quality life as much as possible, as they will all have a significant impact in improving overall quality of life. Stay tuned for more in-depth videos to come on each quality of life factor. Thanks for your attention today, and I hope you have learned something. Have a great day.